Folks, we have another MAGA voting business owner who, for some reason, couldn't see the forest for the trees and ended up driving us all right into the woods. This guy right here owns a roofing company, and for some reason, he didn't think that when Trump said mass deportation, he was talking about the migrants that he has on his staff. They don't deserve that. It was quite a shock, you'll say. I mean, these folks just want to ignore the obvious racial undertones of Trump's rhetoric and buy into the notion that it's illegal criminal immigrants who are coming over and ruining everything. But it's an obvious fact that Trump doesn't give a good damn about legal or not. He doesn't want any immigrants, period. We'll talk about that after hearing from Trump's voter here, who's absolutely eating crow right now after voting for his own suffering. I mean, reporting on these morons is Sisyphusian by the way they keep falling for it. If you like this kind of coverage, join us by subscribing to Really American and dropping a blue heart so we know you're here.
You've lived in Key West for how long?
44 years.
Vincent Scardina is the owner of the roofing company where they worked. He's owned it 37 years.
It's going to be really hard to replace those guys.
Says losing these 6 men is losing a third of his workers.
We're not able in Key West to just replace people as easily as, say, a big city. Very limited people to pull from. And then you would have to train them. And that takes sometimes years.
But for Vincent, it's much more than that.
It's financially as well as emotionally. It takes a toll. You get to know these guys. You become their friends. Just not an employer, but a friend. And you see what happens to their family. It's quite a shock.
Given his support for the president, we asked what he would tell the commander-in-chief if he had a chance.
What happened here? This situation is just totally, just blatantly not at all what they said it was.
Vincent, you voted for Donald Trump?
Yes, I did.
While he agrees with most of the president's policies, he thought the Trump administration was going to focus solely on deporting criminals. It seems immigration officials, he says, are just trying to meet quotas now.
Buyer's remorse? I don't know. A little bit.
How much damage does this create in your community?
It's not just happening to me. I mean, it's happening across the board. I know of one landscaper that lost 9 or 10 of the whole crew he had, and he's just totally out of business all of a sudden.
Look, I'm glad that somebody who voted for Trump still has the capacity to feel compassion for others, but I have very little sympathy for that man's tears specifically. I can only imagine the children of those poor workers whose parents already gave up everything to move to a new place and work hard to give them a better future, and now they're wondering where their father is and if they'll ever see them again now that they've been disappeared into the extrajudicial immigration system that we've allowed ICE to set up. I have to reiterate that this is administrative detention. These men aren't even given the right to a lawyer since this process is supposed to be non-punitive. But you tell me if this report about what happened to them feels non-punitive to you.
Too fearful to show her face, but courageous enough to tell us what happened to her younger brother, Luis, a roofer on his way to work with his 5 co-workers. All are Nicaraguan.
It's mind-blowing.
Virgil Scardina works with them, knows them well.
When you talk to these families, what are they saying? They don't know why.
He himself doesn't know why this happened, but he's certain about one thing.
It's just not right. It just isn't right.
They say the roofers were traveling northbound on US 1. We're here on Sugarloaf Key, which is about 20 minutes away from Key West. It was early in the morning. These gentlemen were headed to work when they were detained right here. Described as highly skilled workers, their colleagues share these pictures of them. But because of privacy concerns, they asked us not to show their faces.
What did they tell you when you spoke with them?
Why I'm here.
Immigration attorney Reggie Lucia Smith was hired to find them after their work truck was left on the side of the road.
These individuals are all legally here.
They are legally here. They have an authorization to stay and have a valid work permit, not even close to be expired. And again, no criminal record, not here, not in Nicaragua.
The attorney says had immigration officials checked the system, they would have known all but one of the workers had their paperwork in order with pending asylum cases. The men are concerned, she says, they won't be released, but even more fearful of being deported to their native Nicaragua, which is politically unstable. The attorney goes on to call their detention arbitrary and an abuse of power.
It was pretty obvious from the beginning that they were pulled over simply because they were 6 Latino men in a work truck.
Meanwhile, those who know them continue to wonder if they'll ever see them again.
It's been a lot of tears. It's been an incredible amount of sadness, and we still just can't figure out why.
Que lo queremos de regreso.
A sister of one of the men says she wants her little brother back, describing him as an honest, respectful person who simply wanted to get ahead by coming to this country and doing everything right.
It's incredibly fearful, not just for people who are of Latino descent that might get targeted, but also for small business owners, also for the local community, and ultimately I just have to ask myself, who wins in this scenario?
Exactly. Who wins from this except the racists who don't want to see brown people in their country, forgetting the fact that this is a country built on immigration. All of us here, unless you literally descend from the people who came over the land bridge, are immigrants. There is something so haunting about an empty truck just sitting on the side of the road, no explanation for what happened to the workers inside, just disappeared without a trace or answer from the government, unless you hound them for the truth. The legal immigration system has finally broken down. After 100 years of abuse and neglect, the fascists have finally achieved their goal of locking down the country in a way that allows for ethnic purification. Now that sounds dystopian and reductionist, but we all know that conservative ideology starts on social media and works its way up to the politicians. What Charlie Kirk and Ben Shapiro and Matt Walsh say today is what Stephen Miller and J.D. Vance and Donald Trump say tomorrow. And now the thought leaders on the right are 2 steps away from blood testing all citizens for purity. Here's what they're posting. Matt Walsh, ban all third world immigration, legal or illegal. There should be a moratorium on all immigration from the third world. We've reached our capacity. We cannot be the world's soup kitchen anymore. Charlie Kirk, it's time to ban third world immigration, legal or illegal. We've reached our limit, and we have a huge cultural, educational, housing, financial, and essential services problem to fix now because of it. They're literally taking the step out of Hitler's playbook and blaming all of societal problems on immigrants. We need a net zero immigration moratorium with a ban on all third worlders. It's time to ban third world immigration, legal or illegal. Sounds familiar. Real original thought here, guys. We've reached our limit and we have a huge cultural blah, blah, blah. Exactly cut and paste. I mean, this is straight up white Christian nationalism. It is the continuation of manifest destiny. They believe that this country, to be American, means you look a certain way, you speak a certain language, you worship a certain religion, and if not, they want to round you up and put you in a literal camp. And Trump is not far behind these people. We've seen case after case of farmers and hospital workers and now roofers complaining that their good employees are being scooped up. Again, somehow shocked that the leopard started eating their faces. And here we are, the words of the leopard themselves after finishing its meal. Trump posted this morning, our great farmers and people in the hotel and leisure business have been stating that our very aggressive policy on immigration is taking good, long-time workers away from them, with those jobs being almost impossible to replace. In many cases, the criminals allowed into our country by the very stupid Biden open borders policy are applying for those jobs. Yeah, because that's how it works. Criminals come and apply for jobs. This is not good. We must protect our farmers, but get the criminals out of the country. Changes are coming. Those changes are not good. You guys know what to do this Saturday when it comes to making your voices heard. Take to the streets, protest, and stand up to tyranny. You have rights. It's time that we stand up for them before it's too late. I'm Tony Hinderman with Really American, and I'll catch you next time.